Ready? Hi, my name's Sam.
My name's Nick, and welcome to Tiny Table Talks.
Tiny Table Talks is a new series where we're looking to hear your voice and your story all around Tiny Table.
You want to do it one more time?
Yeah. All around a Tiny Table. A lot of you watching this might know Pastor Nick, but you might not know me. We met at a time where we were both doing ministry, but we weren't doing it together.
So I was working at a church, Sam was working at a different church, and our churches went on a mission trip together, and the rest was history.
Fast forward 2.5 years later, we finally get to do ministry together, which is something we've been hoping and dreaming of doing since the beginning, right?
Yep.
Every week we're going to feature somebody in the community who has a story. Our objective with these Tiny Table Talks is to make sure that everyone in the community has a space to share their story, their testimony, and to share how Christ has been able to work through and redeem parts of their story. Part of our story that we're going to share does involve brokenness, but out of brokenness and confession comes healing and redemption. So here's our story.
Sam and I were both active members of our churches that were in part of a denomination that were not affirming.
And by not affirming, what we mean by that is a church and a theology that excludes participation to those who identify in the LGBTQ community.
While neither of us taught their anti-LGBTQ theology, we didn't speak out against it either. The sin of silence is just as wrong and just as hurtful.
Here we are, two people who want to partner with you and who want to see this vision through. But again, before we do that, we need to come to you in an act of confession. Confession for staying silent.
Confession of being afraid.
Because the reality is, as Christ followers, we are called to a radical love. A love for people who may look different, a love for people who may think different, a love for people who are from different places. And radical love requires us to give up something.
And neither of us wanted to give anything up.
Because let's face it, it's easy to not say anything. It's easy to stay silent.
There are people right now who are watching this who have lost so much in their lives just from being themselves. And we aren't going to be silent anymore.
At its core, confession is the spiritual discipline that allows us to enter the grace and mercy of God in such a way that we experience forgiveness and healing for the sins and sorrows of the past.
So a future that includes all people,
All sexualities,
genders,
all races,
all ability levels, all ethnicities,
any person created in the image of God, which we believe is everyone. Just as much as Christ dwells within us, Christ dwells within you. That's pretty Quaker.
Quaker, quaking in the earth, yeah. We're Quakers, we make the earth quake. So thank you for letting us show you how God is moving and changing in our lives on Tiny Table Talks.
Something that both Nick and I and this entire community values is hearing the story of people who are in participation with us. You have the same access to this life-changing power as we do. There's nothing special about us on this side of the camera. In the next few weeks, we want to encourage you. If God has been changing and moving in your life and you have a story, let us know, and we would love to feature you as a guest on Tiny Table Talks. You have a voice and you have a place in this community, and we're waiting for you at Tiny Table Talks. So I'm Sam.
And I'm Nick.
And this has been Tiny Table Talks.
I didn't know we were going that hard
yeah,
at
we're
it.
okay. So-
Should that be the end of it?
I'm Sam.
And I'm Nick.
And this has
has
been Tiny Table Talks.